The market sells off. What does that mean? How concerned should we be as investors? What does it mean moving forward? I'll talk about all of that in just a moment. Hey friends, Adam Hammer here, Chief Investment Officer, Hammer Financial Group in beautiful Buffalo, New York, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So if you've been paying attention to the news over the last couple of days and weeks, you've probably seen all of the scary headlines. The market's selling off, the S&P is down, the NASDAQ is down, tech is down, financials are down. And it certainly is very scary and can be very upsetting to watch that. And there's certainly no sugarcoating it. There has been a significant amount of selling on Wall Street, and that can be tough to deal with. With that said, I'm going to provide a little bit of context here that will hopefully give you some information so you can be better prepared for market volatility and have a better understanding of what's really going on here. So just for that context, the S&P 500 is down, we'll say around 5%, 6% for the year. The NASDAQ is down about 10%. But is that something that is really unusual or something that's really strange to see? And I'm going to share my screen here to give you some historical perspective. What you're seeing up here on your screen is the S&P 500, a chart from our friends at JP Morgan. You might say, well, what in the world is this, Adam? All these bars and dots. It's actually very easy to understand. I'll go through it with you right now. You go all the way to your left here where my cursor is 1980. You can see that the gray bar is above the line. That means in 1980, the market returned 26%. That's pretty good. But you'll also see this red dot, minus 17%. That means that in 1980, we had a 17% drawdown in the S&P 500, meaning at some point during the year, the market had dropped 17%. Wow. And if you go through from left to right here, you'll see most of the time the bars are above the line, meaning the S&P 500, the US stock market, had positive returns. There are a couple of years where we had negative returns where the bar is below the line, but for the most part, we're positive. But what you will also see is that every year pretty much has a red dot. So let's go to more recently. This is 2024. The market's returned about 23% last year. But in 2024, we also had an 8% drawdown, meaning at some point in 2024, the market declined over 8%. Go back a year earlier, 2023, also a really good year, up 24%. But at some point in 2023, we had a 10% drawdown. And so the point I'm getting at here is that market volatility and these drawbacks are normal. And in fact, if you look at the information here at the top, you can see where my cursor is, average intra-year drops of 14%. 14% on average. So you can think about it now and say, okay, well, the S&P is down about 6 year to date. The NASDAQ is down 10. No one likes that. No one's happy about that. But it's within the normal range of a correction. And I think what Paul and I would probably tell everyone is, at least at this point, we think it's more of a short-term correction. We don't see this as being some sort of long-term bear market. And a lot of what has happened is some uncertainty in Washington, what's going to happen with tariffs, what's going to happen with government spending, what's going to happen with interest rates. And because you have all that uncertainty, you get some selling pressure along with, just as I just showed you, some sort of normal market volatility. Unfortunately, the market doesn't always go up. Sometimes there's just more sellers than there are buyers. And as investors, we do have to account for that and deal with that. So hopefully you found this information of interest and will help you sleep better at night, knowing the history of market volatility and the fact that we're probably in a short-term correction by the end of the year. No crystal balls, no guarantees, but probably we'll be back to all-time highs. We will see what happens, but again, we think this is more of a short-term thing. So thank you so much for watching. you have any questions or thoughts for us, please feel free to contact us and we will be happy to speak with you. Okay, thank you so much. We'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.